If you're not worried, you should be. In fact, just give me 5 minutes of your time and I'll tell you exactly why you should be worried. I'll show you why you should be worried. And more so, I'll tell you what do you need to do in order not to fail and lose a lot of money in the upcoming sessions. Be very attentive. I want to show you something that is very important. Most people are blind to it and simply, well, they're blind to it because you cannot see what you don't know about. So pay attention, boys and girls. This is the very same stuff that allowed me not to panic the other day and tell you not to panic because the market is not yet dropping. And more so, let me tell you, don't panic. First thing, no matter what, don't panic. Keep it calm. Believe it or not, you make far better decisions when you're calm. So let's check this out. On the 1 minute, given how we're looking at the regular contract right now, we have seen this preparation for an uptrend. Now, is that significant? Well, let's see. Let's see what we're seeing, what we've seen on the continuous contract on the 1 minute. Kind of compare head to head, right? So what are we seeing is more so a finalizing of the bullish momentum and transition into bearish momentum. Let's look at the regular contract. We're seeing pretty much the opposite. Okay, so that means we're probably seeing how the market on the continuous contract preparing for a drop, regardless of that 69.30 close that we are at, and we're roughly at where we close the market on the weekend. Now, given that the 1 minute is not that significant, let's look at the 5 minutes then, try and figure out what the market is truly saying. The market is saying that it wants to go down. Well, we don't have a real issue with this simply because we closed the gap that we were on the way to. In fact, now we are hugging that resistance that we've been moving within the framework of or transitioning into that 5 minute framework we've been seeing being active for the past several weeks. More so, if we're looking at the 30 minutes, we are seeing something very similar. So the 5 minutes and the 30 minutes are indicative of a transition into bearish momentum. Now let's look at the continuous. 5 minutes, again, preparing to correct back up. So it's not going to be all that surprising if we move towards 69.46-ish roughly. That will be in pre-market hours. But if we're looking at the 30 minutes, we're seeing exactly the same thing that the regular contract is saying. Basically, the market is far more pointing towards a correction. 45 minutes, very same thing. We're squeezing out our bullish momentum and getting ready to drop. Same thing on the hourly. Let's go back to our regular contract. On our regular contract, again, 30 minutes, getting ready to squeeze. 45 getting ready to squeeze, and 1 hour is also probably ran out of its bullish momentum, although right now objectively we are in overbought territory. We are seeing both forces stuck to 100. That means the earthquake, the wave that is occurring here is stronger than what we think. Let's look at the 4 hours. Looking at the 4 hours, in fact, it's very indicative that the market may proceed and correct all the way to that 69, potentially even test 7,000 again, believe it or not. That doesn't change the bigger narrative, the larger picture, where the market is headed in the following months, weeks, if you will, in fact. Because if we're looking at the daily, we're seeing that on the daily, we in fact are already in oversold territory and are pointing downwards, although we are seeing some signs of confluence, of convergence between the forces, meaning we will become bullish for a little bit, so that gives more credence to that movement to the upside. That's why everybody's going to relax and not notice what's happening. The reality is that the market is still more than ready to break back down. And in fact, these behaviors themselves are symbolic of how fragile the market is. And again, if we're looking at our regular contract, on the monthly, you will find out that we are at 99.60 versus 99.28, meaning we are now bearish dominant. The market is preparing to break and now continue for a break for a very long time. I know what you just saw probably puts you at ease and you think, oh, that's just another shallow market correction and that's it. From here on out, we're going to go up. You probably hear your various Tom Lees, Schmees, and all sorts of various characters on social media, and we're not telling you that from here on out to the moon, to Mars even. No, boys and girls. And again, those are the very same tools that while everyone else and all these social media nonsense speakers were panicking the other day, I told you, do not panic. It will correct up, but do not miss out on the bigger picture, on the grand scheme of things of what's going on, what is the cycle is telling us. The cycle did not change given this correction. This is just mere a regular ebb and flow of the market. Sometimes it's more shallow, sometimes it's deeper. What we need to be more attentive far more is the flattening of the curve that is symbolic to an end of a cycle. And once it breaks, I know I tend to draw it also nicely. We all know the market breaks far more steeper than it climbs up. And in fact, do not get the misconception of how that will remotely resembles because our uptrend is completely different. Your uptrend is like so, and yes, that is your downtrend. And we understand that that is far more fast. We've seen this in the market happen before. Every single time the market breaks far faster than it climbs. In fact, I say the market gains in droplets and loses in buckets. Okay. So if we're looking at the daily, basically now that we're going over that medium range, we're seeing, even though we're seeing some more entanglement, some revolutions around these levels right here into that wedge, it does not mean we are not seeing even more signs of a breakdown, a significant crash. Boys and girls, I repeat again, it seems like the overall target for the S&P will be 3,300. I know it sounds insane, but this is similar to what the market has gone to in the 1930s. 1927, 1928, 1929, 1930s, right? Around that era, we had a completion of a cycle. Similarly, so we're now going through a completion of that cycle. And most people are blind to it because looking back, the only way you can look at it in these large form sort of point of view, and you don't realize that what you are looking at is a very similar behavior of the market. You get the wrong perception on the behavior being different. And now the trick, you wanted to know, you're here to know what to do, right? Do yourself a favor. You are losing a lot more and risking a lot more by not joining the community. Join my Discord right now. Join the Patreon so you can join the Discord. Here it is. You need to look for patreon.com/Greg underscore Ori underscore H, or if you go to Google, you simply can Google Gregory H Patreon, just like so, like you can see here in the corner. Right now, the tiers are discounted. I want to let you know that there will not be discounted forever. It is a temporary thing. Let me show you. Right now, if you want to sign up, it's $50. This is the best thing you can do for yourself. Start learning. Put yourself in a place where you actually understand why the next time the market drops and you don't panic right away. Oh, the market is dropping. Oh, what do I do? Oh, like all the YouTubers, right? Instead of that nonsense, you'll know exactly what's going on, or at least you'll be a little bit more tethered to what the cycle is, what the forces are saying, what the technical tools. The technical tools are just measuring tools. It's the same thing as eyeballing something versus using a measuring tape, a laser designator. Yes, of course, people who don't know how to use them will tell you they're useless and they don't work because they don't know how to use them. The people who do know will swear by them. So join the community right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity. This $50 tier is discounted. Next month, at the end of this month, it will go to $70. And the month after that will go to $99 and will stay there. So once you lock in that price, you will stay on that price bracket that you lock in. Lock it in right now before now the market breaks again and you panic and then you come back asking questions and then it will cost more. To learn and understand the basic principles of the market, just behaving by on a daily basis. You could have known this a long time ago. You are losing a lot more by not joining the community. You're risking a lot more by not joining the community. And more so, I cannot advocate more for the one-on-one academy in which I have still one spot available. You are missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Learning during this period anchors you and allows you to truly keep calm and then make the right decisions versus the other people who panic right away and do whatever comes to mind. Of course they panic and do whatever comes to mind because they don't know any better, know that they have any forces to anchor themselves to. For all they care, the market is floating in ether. Don't be one of those people. Stop being one of those people. There's a reason why the profession of technical analysis and technical analyst exists. Okay? There's a reason why people who have made hundreds of millions swear by it. In fact, just to kind of joke around, Here, let me show you what some of my members are able to produce within a month knowing technical analysis. I get a lot more of these. The problem is I don't brag as often, and just I really need to start posting a lot more of these. But this is what one of my members was able to generate. Yeah, I'm being stupid now. Here. This is one of my members was able to generate or make, if you will, call it however you want to, 200,000 within a single month. No one says you have to be like that person. Of course, no one says you might not have the liquidity they used for this. It doesn't matter. On the grand scheme of things, it's doable. Do this on a smaller scale consistently. You'll be able to grow your account so it would not matter whatever is going on in the market. In fact, right now, while everyone else will be losing, my students will be making money. In fact, right now, every single time, when every single one of these drops, my students are making money. Not all of them, I cannot swear by every single one, but a great majority of them are making, they're very much in the green, one way or another, for one asset or another. So stop wasting your time. Join the community right now so you can understand and be prepared for these events ahead of time instead of panicking when they finally happen. Ah, market's dropping. Ah, what do we do? Ah. Be an adult about it. Join the community. Stop missing out on your own money. Have a great day, everyone, and a great weekend. I'll see you in the community. Bye for now.